In The Hacking of the American Mind, Dr. Robert Lustig explores how modern society has been manipulated into prioritizing pleasure over true happiness, leading to widespread addiction, depression, and poor health. Lustig, a neuroendocrinologist, argues that corporations, media, and the food industry have exploited the brain's reward system, promoting instant gratification at the cost of long-term well-being. He distinguishes between pleasure and happiness, explaining that while pleasure is short-lived and driven by dopamine, happiness is sustainable and rooted in serotonin. Lustig begins by breaking down the science of neurotransmitters. Dopamine, the reward chemical, provides short bursts of pleasure but can lead to addiction when overstimulated. Serotonin, on the other hand, fosters long-term contentment and emotional stability. The problem arises when dopamine dominates, suppressing serotonin and making it harder to experience lasting happiness. He explains that this imbalance is at the core of many modern health and mental issues, including anxiety, depression, obesity, and addiction. The book argues that corporations have hijacked our dopamine system by flooding society with products and experiences designed to provide instant pleasure, fast food, social media, processed sugar, and digital entertainment. These industries profit from keeping people in a cycle of craving and consumption, reinforcing compulsive behaviors while undermining long-term happiness. Lustig provides evidence showing how advertising and product design exploit the brain's reward system, conditioning people to seek quick dopamine hits at the expense of their mental and physical health. One of the major topics in the book is the relationship between sugar and addiction. Lustig, a well-known critic of the sugar industry, explains how excessive sugar consumption stimulates dopamine, creating a cycle of craving and dependence similar to that of drugs. He links the rise of obesity, diabetes, and metabolic disorders to the food industry's deliberate use of sugar to increase consumption. He also discusses how ultra-processed foods disrupt brain chemistry, leading to compulsive overeating and mood disorders. Lustig explores how social media and technology contribute to dopamine addiction. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are designed to maximize engagement by providing constant rewards in the form of likes, notifications, and instant feedback. This triggers dopamine release, reinforcing compulsive usage and reducing attention spans. Over time, reliance on digital stimulation weakens serotonin pathways, making it harder to find genuine happiness in real-life experiences. Lustig argues that this is a major factor behind rising levels of anxiety, depression, and loneliness, especially among younger generations. A key concept in the book is the 7 key differences between pleasure and happiness. Pleasure is immediate, short-lived, and driven by external stimuli, while happiness is gradual, long-lasting, and comes from internal fulfillment. Pleasure is linked to substances and behaviors that create dependency, whereas happiness is self-sustaining and not addictive. Lustig warns that by constantly chasing pleasure, people sabotage their ability to achieve real happiness. The book also examines the role of stress and cortisol in mental health. Chronic stress fuels dopamine-driven behaviors as people seek quick relief from discomfort. However, excessive stress disrupts serotonin production, making it harder to maintain emotional stability. Lustig emphasizes the importance of reducing stress through lifestyle changes such as exercise, mindfulness, and social support, which naturally boost serotonin levels. Lustig discusses how consumer culture manipulates desires to keep people in a constant state of dissatisfaction. The advertising industry capitalizes on fear, insecurity, and social comparison to encourage consumption. By making people believe they need more, whether it's money, beauty, status, or possessions, companies drive compulsive behaviors that never lead to real contentment. He urges readers to recognize and resist these psychological tricks to regain control over their desires. The book addresses the pharmaceutical industry's role in fueling dopamine dependence. Lustig critiques how antidepressants, stimulants, and painkillers are often overprescribed, masking symptoms rather than addressing root causes. He argues that while medications can be useful in some cases, they are frequently used as quick fixes rather than part of a holistic approach to well-being. He promotes lifestyle changes as a more sustainable way to balance brain chemistry. Lustig also examines political and economic policies that contribute to the dopamine-driven society. He argues that deregulation has allowed corporations to prioritize profit over public health, leading to increased marketing of addictive products. He critiques how the healthcare system focuses on treating symptoms rather than preventing illness, reinforcing a cycle of dependence on pharmaceuticals and medical interventions. The book provides a roadmap for breaking free from dopamine addiction and cultivating true happiness. Lustig outlines practical steps, such as eating a whole food diet, limiting sugar and processed foods, engaging in regular physical activity, prioritizing sleep, and reducing screen time. He encourages readers to build meaningful relationships, practice gratitude, and engage in activities that provide intrinsic fulfillment rather than external validation. A major theme of the book is reclaiming personal agency. Lustig emphasizes that while corporations and media exert strong influence over behavior, individuals still have the power to make conscious choices. By becoming aware of how external forces manipulate the brain, people can take proactive steps to restore balance and focus on long-term happiness rather than short-term pleasure. Throughout the book, Lustig presents scientific research and case studies to support his arguments. He draws on neuroscience, psychology, and public health data to show how society has shifted toward dopamine-driven behaviors and how this has contributed to widespread unhappiness. His writing combines rigorous science with practical advice, making complex topics accessible to a general audience. In conclusion, The Hacking of the American Mind is a powerful critique of how modern society has been manipulated into prioritizing pleasure over happiness. Lustig exposes the ways in which corporations, media, and the food industry exploit dopamine pathways to drive consumption and dependence, leading to addiction, obesity, depression, and dissatisfaction. He argues that by understanding the difference between pleasure and happiness, and making conscious lifestyle changes, people can break free from the cycle of instant gratification and build a more fulfilling, sustainable life.